The screen opens on Buckingham Palace's bustling courtyard, a vibrant mosaic of history and humanity, glowing under the warm September sun. The cream-colored stone walls shimmering with a golden hue, their ancient grandeur, a silent witness to the ages. Tourists throng along the iron barriers, their cameras flashing like bursts of sunlight, capturing the proud flutter of royal standards against the pale blue sky. The Union Jack, a beacon of tradition atop its flagpole. The air pulses with the lively hum of voices, the snap of shutters, the scent of warm cobblestones, and the faint sweetness of ice cream from a vendor's cart, mingling with the chatter of children and the rustle of guidebooks. Cathedral bells toll softly across London, their resonant notes weaving a thread of reverence through the courtyard's vibrant chaos, grounding the scene in quiet dignity. In this sunlit spectacle, where tradition meets the energy of the present, a little girl's hidden signal will stun a royal guard into action, breaking centuries of protocol to save her life, a moment of courage that will redefine duty, not just for one man, but for all who witness the power of a single act to protect innocence. If you're inspired by heroes who act when it counts, hit subscribe to join our community and catch more heart-stirring stories like this every day. As the sun climbs higher, one question reverberates across the courtyard. What would you do to answer a child's silent cry for help? Corporal David Langston stands motionless at his post, a steadfast sentinel in his scarlet tunic, the heavy fabric warmed by the September sun. The towering bearskin hat casting a shadow across his disciplined face, its black fur glistening faintly with the heat. At treaty, David is a seasoned soldier of the Royal Regiment, his lean frame honed by 2 tours in Iraq as a combat medic, his brown eyes sharp with a quiet intensity, forged in the chaos of war, tempered by the gentle love of fatherhood to his 5-year-old son. Noah, his face, weathered by sun and service, is a mask of stoic resolve. But beneath the surface lies a man shaped by the lives he saved. Soldiers pulled from the brink, civilians shielded in crossfire, and the quiet joys of Noah's laughter. His small hand in David's, his trust, a guiding light. A flashback transports us to a dusty street in Basra, where David, his medic's kit slung across his back, kneels beside a wounded comrade under gunfire, his hand steady as he stanches a bleeding artery, his calm focus saving a life, earning him a mention in dispatches and a reputation for seeing danger where others see routine. Now, as a Queen's Guard, his duty is to embody the crown's honor, to stand as a living symbol of tradition. His rifle steady, his posture rigid, but his medic's instincts remain razor-sharp, sweeping the crowd with subtle shifts of focus, ready to detect the unseen in this bustling courtyard. In the heart of the crowd, 8-year-old Anna Price stands stiffly near the barrier, her yellow dress a bright contrast to her pale, tense face, her green eyes downcast, avoiding the world, her blonde hair falling like a curtain to hide her fear. Her small frame trembles faintly, dwarfed by a man in a black jacket, his polished shoes gleaming, his smile tight and unnatural, his fingers gripping her wrist with a force that leaves faint red marks, visible when her sleeve shifts. The man, Robert Kane, in his late 30s, exudes a calculated charm, his dark hair slicked back, his jacket tailored, but his eyes dart nervously, betraying a control that feels predatory, not paternal. Anna's posture, shoulders hunched, hands clasped tightly, sends a chill through David's heart, his thoughts flashing to Noah, to the way his son's eyes light up at the sight of his scarlet tunic, to the fierce vow David made after Iraq to protect the vulnerable, a promise rooted in the lives he couldn't save. The courtyard hums with live tourists snapping selfies, a guide droning about the palace's history, a vendor calling out offers of Union Jack flags, but David's focus sharpens, his brown eyes locking onto Anna and the man, his instinct screaming that danger lurks behind Cain's polished demeanor. His grip on Anna, a violation of the safety this courtyard should represent. The conflict ignites as David notices Anna, his brown eyes catching the man's subtle but menacing behavior, his medic's training amplifying every detail. Cain leans down, his voice a low whisper, his words a threat that carries to David's attuned ears over the crowd's chatter. "Don't make a scene, or you'll pay for it," he mutters, his fingers tightening on Anna's wrist, her body stiffening, her green eyes flickering with terror. Her sleeve slips, revealing purple marks, bruises in the shape of fingers, stark against her pale skin before Cain adjusts her position, pulling the fabric down with a swift, practiced motion, his smile snapping back into place, his eyes scanning the crowd to ensure no one saw. David's chest tightens, his heart pounding, his thoughts racing to Noah, to the laughter that fills their small London flat, to the promise he made to his wife, Claire, a school teacher, to be a shield for those who cannot protect themselves. The courtyard remains vibrant, tourists laughing, a guide pointing to the palace's balcony, a couple sharing an ice cream. But David's world narrows to the girl and the man, his instincts roaring that Cain's control is not that of a father, but of a predator, his charm a mask for something sinister. The crowd's energy shifts subtly. A few tourists noticing the exchange, an elderly man with a cane, his face kind but alert, pauses. His slow walk, his eyes lingering on Anna's tense frame, while a teenage girl, her phone poised to record the guards, frowns at Cain's demeanor. Her instincts as a young woman stirring unease. David catalogues the signs. Anna's fear, Cain's control. The bruises hidden but unmistakable. The mismatch in their dynamic that screams danger. His training as a guard demands he remain still, a statue bound by centuries-old protocol. But his training as a medic, his heart as a father, urge him to act, to protect a child whose fear mirrors Noah's vulnerability in a world that can be cruel. The vendor's call fades, the guide's voice softens, the bells toll faintly, and David's focus intensifies, his brown eyes tracking Cain's every move, his mind wrestling with the weight of his duty to the crown, to tradition, but above all, to the girl whose silent suffering pierces his resolve. The tension escalates as Cain pulls Anna toward the courtyard's edge, away from the crowd's gaze, his movements hurried, his voice low and menacing, carried to David by a sudden hush in the crowd's chatter. "No one will help you. Don't try it," he says, his hand sliding to her shoulder, his fingers digging in, making her flinch, her body shaking with fear she cannot voice. The elderly man with the cane steps closer, his voice gentle but probing, offering Anna a tissue from a leather case, his eyes studying her pale face. "You all right, lass?" he asks, his tone warm, his gaze flickering to Cain, sensing something amiss. Cain barks, his voice sharp, his smile strained. "She's fine, just shy," he says, yanking Anna closer, his fingers whitening on her shoulder, his eyes darting to the crowd, his control fraying under scrutiny. The man's smile falters, his hand retreating, but his eyes linger, his concern. A quiet spark in the courtyard's brightness. The teenage girl, her phone now lowered, notices Anna's backpack, its name tag deliberately turned inward, obscuring any name, a detail that deepens her frown. Her voice low as she whispers to her friend. "That's odd, why is her tag hidden?" Her friend, her eyes narrowing, nods, her hand pausing on her camera. Their instincts alert to Anna's fear. A young couple, their toddler in a stroller, glance over, the mother's face softening with concern. Her voice soft. "She doesn't look happy," she says, her husband nodding, his eyes on Cain's grip. Cain, sensing the growing attention, quickens his pace, pulling Anna toward the exit, his polished shoes clicking faster, his smile fading, his eyes scanning for an escape. Anna stumbles, her sneakers scuffing the cobblestones, her green eyes glancing back, locking onto David's for a fleeting moment, wide with desperation, a silent plea that shatters his heart. Her hand, trembling but deliberate, flashes a distress signal, fist closed, opened, pressed to her palm, a gesture David recognizes from his military training, a universal call for help that obliterates his resolve to remain still. The climax erupts as David breaks formation, his boots striking the cobblestones, a resounding echo that silences the courtyard, the crowd gasping, their cameras dropping as they turn to witness the unprecedented breach. His scarlet tunic blazes in the sunlight, his bearskin hat steady, his rifle angled across his chest, a symbol of authority. As he strides toward Cain, in long, purposeful steps, closing the distance in seconds, his presence a wall of resolve. Let her go, he orders, his voice firm, deep and unyielding, carrying the weight of his years as a medic, his brown eyes locking onto Cain's, his authority brooking no defiance. The crowd freezes, their faces a gallery of shock and awe, their voices falling silent as the weight of the moment sinks in. Cain stammers, his face paling, his grip on Anna loosening, his voice weak. "She's mine, my niece," he protests, his smile forced, his eyes darting to the exits, his polished facade crumbling under David's intensity. David kneels to Anna's level, his scarlet tunic vivid against the cobblestones, his voice softening, his brown eyes meeting her green ones, offering a lifeline of trust. "Did you signal for help?" he asks, his tone gentle but steady, his hand resting lightly on her shoulder, a father's warmth in a soldier's frame. Anna whispers, her voice trembling but clear, her courage breaking through her fear. "I'm Anna Price. He's not my dad," she says, her words a desperate confession, her green eyes glistening with tears, her small hand clutching her yellow dress, her trust in David, a beacon in her darkness. The crowd gasps, their faces shifting from shock to horror, their murmurs rising in support of the girl and the god who acted. Cain lunges, his voice shrill, his black jacket creasing as he tries to pull Anna back. She's confused. He snaps, but palace security, their navy uniforms cutting through the crowd, restrain him, their hands firm, their radios crackling with urgency, their faces professional but alert. A tourist, a middle-aged man with a smartphone, steps forward, his screen displaying a missing child alert from a local news site. The photo unmistakably Anna, her yellow dress and green eyes, a perfect match. Reported missing from a London shopping center 2 days prior. Last seen near a toy store. "This is her," he says, his voice shaking, his phone held high for the officers to see. The alert's details confirming Anna's story, sealing Cain's fate. The elderly man with the cane, his tears now flowing, clutches his leather case, his voice trembling. "Bless you for seeing her," he says, his eyes on David, his gratitude. A quiet prayer. The teenage girl, her video capturing the moment, wipes her eyes, her voice soft. "He saved her," she says to her friend, their faces lit with awe. The young couple, their toddler now awake, nod to David, the mother's voice low but firm. "You're a hero," she says, her husband's hand tightening on hers, their faces reflecting pride in the God who acted, in the community that witnessed. The resolution unfolds as the courtyard, once charged with the electricity of confrontation, settles into a warm reverence. The September sun casting long shadows, the royal standards fluttering above, the bells chiming softly in the distance. Anna's family, her mother, Laura, and father, James Price, rush through the gates, their faces tear-streaked, their voices breaking as they sprint across the cobblestones, their arms enveloping Anna in a desperate, tearful embrace, their gratitude a palpable force that fills the courtyard. Thank you, oh God, thank you. Laura sobs, her hands clutching Anna's face, her green eyes meeting David's, with a depth of thanks words cannot convey. James, his voice choked, grips David's hand. His words simple but heavy. You brought her back to us. The crowd applauds, their applause growing. A tide of admiration that washes over the courtyard. Tears glistening in strangers' eyes. Their hands a chorus of gratitude for the God who broke tradition to save a life. For the girl whose courage gave voice to her fear. The elderly man with the cane, his tears wiped away, approaches Anna's parents. His voice soft. She's a brave lass, he says, his leather case now a gift for Anna. His smile warm with relief. The teenage girl, her video now uploaded, watches it spread online, her caption reading, a guard saw her signal and saved her life. Heroes wear scarlet. The young couple, their toddler waving a tiny flag, share a nod, their faces reflecting pride in the God who acted, in the community that witnessed. Palace security, their faces softened, escort Kane away, his black jacket rumpled, his head bowed, his protest silenced by the evidence Anna's testimony, the bruises on her wrist, the missing child. Alert. The crowd's observations. David, back at his post, stands tall, his scarlet tunic slightly creased from kneeling, his bearskin hat adjusted, his rifle steady, his brown eyes softer now, his heart carrying the weight of Anna's trust, the applause still echoing in his mind. At a private ceremony in Buckingham Palace's ballroom, David stands before Colonel Sir Richard Hale, his scarlet tunic gleaming under chandeliers, the air rich with the scent of polished wood and fresh roses in crystal vases. Pale, his face stern but warm, his grey hair catching the light, pins the Queen's Guard medal for exceptional service to David's chest. A rare honor for acts that uphold the crown's values in extraordinary ways. You honored the crown by saving her. Corporal, Hale says, his voice resonant, his eyes meeting David's with pride. Your vigilance is our shield, your compassion, our soul. The king sends his personal thanks. David's brown eyes glisten. His thoughts on Anna, on Noah, on the duty that defines him. His salute steady, his heart full. The weight of the medal, a reminder of the girl he saved, the life he changed. Weeks later, a package arrives at David's modest London flat, a cozy home filled with Noah's toys and the scent of Claire's baking, where laughter echoes in the evenings. Inside is a note from Anna, written in careful, childish handwriting, and a drawing. A scarlet guard with a towering bearskin hat. A girl in a yellow dress holding a flower. The words "Thank you, my hero" scrawled in green crayon. The letters uneven but heartfelt. The note reads, "You saw me when I was scared. I'm safe now because of you." David tucks the drawing into his locker at the barracks. Next to a photo of Noah, his son's smile, a mirror of Anna's courage. A talisman for the days ahead. Claire, her hazel eyes warm, rests her hand on his, her voice soft. You gave her a future, she whispers, her pride in her husband, a quiet anchor in their home. The story of that sunlit September morning becomes a global beacon, shared across news outlets, social media, and whispered conversations. A viral video capturing David's march, his command resounding. Anna's signal a silent cry that shattered protocol. The crowd's applause. A symphony of humanity. Headlines hail. The guard who saw the signal, framing David's act as a lesson in vigilance. A reminder that courage isn't in standing still. It's in acting when a child's life depends on it. News anchors recount the story with reverence, their voices thick with emotion, while online forums buzz with praise for the guard who saw danger, for the girl whose bravery spoke, for the parents whose hope was restored. The video, shared millions of times, shows David's scarlet tunic, blazing across the courtyard. Anna's small frame clinging to her parents. The crowd's tears and applause, a testament to a moment that transcends borders, uniting viewers in awe of a God who chose a child's life over tradition. The aftermath ripples through the lives touched by that morning. Kane, identified as a suspect in a string of abductions, faces charges. His capture a direct result of David's intervention. Anna's courage and the crowd's vigilance. His charming exterior, no match for the truth. The elderly man with the cane, back in his Norfolk village, shares the story with his chess club. His leather case now a keepsake from a day he'll never forget. His voice warm with pride for the God who acted. The teenage girl, her video, a catalyst for change, starts a school project on child safety. Her words inspired by David's courage, her platform a light for others. The young couple now advocates for missing children, volunteer with local charities. Their toddler's flag, a constant reminder. Their resolve, strengthened by Anna's bravery. Their efforts ensuring others learn distress signals. David visits Anna's school months later, speaking to children about safety, teaching them the distress signal. His scarlet tunic a beacon for the students. His voice steady but warm. His presence a reassurance that help is always possible. Anna, now thriving, sits in the front row. Her yellow dress bright, her green eyes shining with trust. Her hand waving a small flag, her courage a foundation for her recovery. Her parents, their gratitude deepening, invite David and his family to a picnic. Their conversations hinting at a lasting bond, a shared understanding of the fragility and strength of love. Noah, clutching his father's hand, gives Anna a toy soldier, a gift that seals their connection, a moment of joy that mirrors the courtyard's light. David returns to his post the following month. The September sun now softened by autumn's approach. The courtyard alive with new tourists, their cameras flashing, their voices a familiar hum. His scarlet tunic glows, his bearskin hat steady, his rifle a vow to protect, its weight a reminder of the duty he carries. The crowd, unaware of the drama, snaps photos, but the vendor, his cart adorned with a small flag like Anna's, nods to David. His smile a quiet acknowledgement of the hero beneath the uniform. Palace staff, passing by, offer subtle nods, their respect unspoken but profound. Their pride in David, a shared secret among those who serve the crown. In his quiet moments, David thinks of Anna's drawing, of Noah's laughter, of the vow he made in Iraq to protect the innocent, of the lesson that courage isn't in standing still, but in acting when a child's life depends on it. The palace, with its sunlit stones and royal standards, stands as it always has, a witness to countless moments of courage. Its honor upheld by a God who acted when a girl's hidden signal pierced tradition, who saw fear where others saw shyness, who moved when protocol demanded stillness. The story of that September morning is a parable of compassion, a testament to the power of a single moment to save a life, to remind us that courage isn't in standing still, it's in acting when a child's life depends on it, that a girl's signal can call forth a hero from a statue, that a guard's action can echo beyond the palace walls, uniting us in the belief that no cry for help should go unheard. Corporal David Langston, with his medic's instincts and father's heart, proved that vigilance can pierce deception, that a girl's courage can change the world, that a guard's action can become a beacon of hope. Courage isn't in standing still. It's in acting when a child's life depends on it. What does vigilance mean to you? Have you ever faced a moment where you had to act to protect someone? Where a subtle sign demanded your courage? Where your heart refused to stay silent? Share your story in the comments below. Tell us about the choices that defined your honor, the moments that tested your resolve, the lessons that linger like a child's drawing in a soldier's locker. If you're inspired by stories like David Langston's and Anna Price's stories of vigilance, compassion, and the courage to break tradition for a life, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Join our community for more tales that uplift, that challenge, that remind us of the strength within us all, every single day.
Tate,